Thank you, Jiaxuan. Thank you, Anne. Thank you, Eileen. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Lin. Thank you, Paul. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so welcome to Module 1, Flashback 2024. So in this module, we'll take a powerful moment to reflect on this year, 2024. We'll look at the highs, the challenges, and the lessons learned. So this reflection will serve as the foundation for everything we do moving forward. Yeah. And it's time to uncover insights from the past to create a stronger and more informed path for 2025. Thanks, Ijie. And let's dive in and see what 2024 has to teach us. So in case you have other experiences or learnings, feel free to share them in the chat box for all of us to learn. Now, if you could recall, last year's seminar, I flashed these slides and I say, this is what I gather from Eating Wisdom talking about 2024, right? So what are they? Basically, I mentioned that the first thing last year seminar, I mentioned number one is One Dragon Control Water. Okay, One Dragon Control Water basically translate into layman understanding is we can expect heavier rainfall, flood inundation, hail. All right. When it comes to heat wave and droughts, this comes more from the hexagram energy. All right. But for now, in terms of One Dragon Control Water, it basically translates to heavier rainfall, flood inundation, and hail. And 2024, as we have gone through and experienced, had been a year with intense weather patterns. Don't you agree? Then we also talk about number two, the one farmland needs 10 ox. Basically means too many resources or efforts in one place make the land or the systems very rigid and unyielding, creating challenges in progress and growth. So you can see a lot of businesses are experiencing this. And that's why there are a lot of cutting, retrenchment, all right, or redeployment, or whatever you want to call it, right sizing or whatever, they are going through this one. All right. So yeah, this is one thing. And the next one, the next point we talk about last year is that this thing, 9 people share 3 biscuit. Loosely translated, it means 9 people struggling to share 3 portions of the food. Reflects how in 2024 many face shortages and scarcity exacerbated by the global challenges. When I say global challenges, basically means the war, the conflict, going everywhere. You have seen Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Iran, Hamas, right? So in contrast, 2023, 2023 had 7 people sharing 1 portion. Okay, last year, 2023 had 7 people sharing 1 portion, but this year, 2024, is 9 people sharing 3 portions. So things were already tight, but 2024 made it worse. So this reflection helped us understand the energy of 2024 and the repercussion like heightened national security, right, and intensified climate effort. And we also talk about all these, by evolvement might translate into also inflation, but I bracket them milder. So basically, milder basically means is this relatively, it's still inflation, but relatively lighter than 2023. In addition, last year I also mentioned that 2024, this year, is called a widow year, 寡妇年. Right? When it comes to 寡妇年, right? So what comes to mind is that basically it means no spring. When you say no spring, 没有春啊，没有春节啊 no spring basically it means it's deprived of 少阳 energy. Or it's a year marked by absence and loss. So no spring, the year began with an absence of vitality, like a spring that's never arrived. So this reflected a lack of renewal and growth in many areas, leaving people feeling stuck and without fresh opportunities. Darren say it's true. Scarcity year reflects a strong push from gold price rises. So good news for some when gold price rise. Good news for some, and not that good news for the others. Okay, then next, when I talk about deprived of 少阳, I think this is notable. especially when I talk about deprive of Sao Yang and affect young men. Hear me out. Deprive of Sao Yang energy basically means lower birth rate because babies are Sao Yang energy. So if it's deprived of Sao Yang energy, basically means lower birth rate. Either they have difficulty conceiving or people just refuse to have family. The Sao Yang energy, which is linked to vitality and growth, was notably absent. So this, as I say, translated into lower birth rate and a sense of stagnation in terms of new beginnings. Then affecting young men. Attrition. When I say young men, it includes children, right? Because Sao Yang. So attrition of children or young men. So this year, 2024, we see a troubling trend of loss or attrition affecting the younger generation, particularly the young men. I'm sure you can relate. Looking around at world events, I think whether it's through health issue, early departure, or some other unfortunate events like the war that we see in Russia, Ukraine, in Gaza, the Gaza war, you see we are losing a lot of young, strong men and children as well. Yeah. Okay. So let's revisit some of the significant events that shaped the year. So that I show you proof that what we say might happen did really happen over the entire year. We have not ended 2024 yet, but I think I've collected enough until I was tired of collecting some more because I have enough to prove the point. Right. So let's quickly run through. Fiona say, okay, good afternoon, Fiona. No worries. We have just started only. Darren say a new term coin 少子化 at 2024, if I remember correctly. Oh, what does 少子化 means? 化掉那个少。Okay, so let's look at some reports about those things that we say might happen. Darren says low fatality. Oh, this is a new term, 少子化, Okay. Good afternoon, Pei Pei. No worries. Sorry, missed the point mentioned for this slide. Can share again. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that I'm just revisiting what I pointed out in last year's seminar, and those key points were those that's written in this slide, summarized in these slides, right? So basically, one dragon control water, one farmland needs 10 ox, 9 people share 3 biscuit, and their repercussion leads to national security, leads to milder inflation, and leads to, heavier rainfall and also intensified climate effort. So let's talk about one dragon control water. Yeah, I've collected reports. So as early as March, okay, as early as March, you can see these slides here is all talking about rains, heavy rainfall, floods, inundation. Almost every other month, you see reports like this. Pakistan got it, Indonesia got it, Southern China got it, Kenya, Tanzania, Nigeria, Samoa, that's not enough. Pakistan, Brazil, every other month, this is already into May, mid-year already, still have. Indonesia, Houston, US, and other US state, France, Switzerland, Italy also experience fierce storms slash. Although it's not enough, some more. Every other month you see reports like this. India, Mumbai, Philippine capital, Penang, Malaysia, our neighbor. We have Central Europe, we have Philippines again, we have Valencia, Spain. Okay, so you can see after October, I got tired. I stopped collecting any more events already. I think you all get the point, or you get the point about how powerful one dragon control water is. That's how powerful one dragon is. Okay, so we talk about hail also. There were report about this one. You can look at what the hail did to this airplane. Luckily, it was grounded safely. Okay. Heat wave. Now, heat wave comes from this hexagram energy. Lei Huo Feng. Later I'll talk about that. Lei Huo Feng, it comes from there. Okay, so you can see that Malaysia also as early as March. So we can see that, this year 2024, right? We see two events happening at the same time: extreme wet weather and extreme hot weather happening at the same time. So this is also as early as March, and every other month we see similar reports. Malaysia experiences heat wave, worst heat wave, he said. Thai also experienced extreme heat. Bangladesh also had to shut down school because of heat wave. South Korea also records hottest April in half a century. Wow, this is a record. Pakistan also 52 degree. Oh my God. South Korea again, right? So there's not enough. Some more. What is this? The planet saw its hottest day on record. That one is in July. Of course, we know it's the summertime, so it's the hottest. Japan also in August, and then China in August. And after that, I stopped collecting. I think I have enough to prove the point. Okay. Next, let's move on to talk about the what call it, no spring. Remember the no spring? Guafu name is no spring. Okay, so let's take a look. It affects children. You see, over 20,000. This one was in June. Now it's already November, going into December pretty soon already. So I think this 20,000 is already an understatement. So over 20,000 and counting children buried, trapped, detained, lost amid Gaza war. So this is the effect of 寡妇年. I mean the 没有春 energy, that kind of effect that we can expect. Pretty sad. Pretty sad. Move on. National security. I think this slide is an understatement because I just show you samples. Okay, like for example, US sanctioned Iran over nuclear escalation. US sanctioned all because of national security, like in the name of national security. US sanctioned China-based networking for helping North Korea. US prepare new sanction against China for supporting Russia. US this, US that, everything is about US. And it's all in the name of national security. But basically, we know behind the scene, it's not about national security, it's about their hegemony security. Okay, but it's only within this world that we discuss about things sensitive like this. But I think we all know. 心知肚明了, Next, we talk about 9 people share 3 biscuit, basically loosely translated into layman terms. It basically means, like, for example, crop crisis, food crisis, or famine around the world. Of course, crop crisis comes from the war, the wet, the extreme weather condition, affecting the crops, harvest, and things like that. So food crisis because of the war, because famine also because of the war. Let's take a look whether it is true. Yes, in Sudan there is a global hunger, monitor declares famine in Sudan. In Gaza, okay, at least 576,000 people is one step away from famine. This is what UN say. It's from authorized body saying that. So all these are happening in this year, translating back to the 9 people sharing one biscuit. Okay, let's move on. Inflation. I bracket them milder. Can you see interest rate dropping? All right, and then there was a report in Singapore to say that Singapore inflation, this one was in July, inflation slows more than expected in June, but it's still high. From my opinion, I think prices are still high. Okay, so but at least the inflation going up slows more than expected in June. Full-time headline forecast being reviewed. So we don't know what's the latest for the full year. Let's wait for official announcement. But at least we know that inflation is milder. But what happened next year, 2025? 2025. So we'll take a look in the next module. Okay, so basically we've covered this one, but let's take a look at this abundance. That's now I say I want to talk about this abundance. 2024, I mentioned the hexagram. The ruling hexagram is Lei Huo Feng abundance. Basically, the picture tells everything. I say there will be wildfire, bushfire, forest fire, something of that sort. I mean, fire energy pretty strong. But at the same time, because of the earlier insights, we know that there will be extreme wet weather also. So these two energy, I think for the very first time for a very long time, it is happening at the same time. This is frightening. Huh? Darren said, my Malaysia clients are waiting patiently as they see it as a great opportunity to buy China car. Okay. They are grateful of the national security coming soon. Okay. So it's always yin yang. Some are happy about things that's happening. Some are not that happy about things that's happening. So Pepe said, am I the only one that can't see master on screen? You can't see me. How about the rest? Can you see me on screen? Or did I disappear? Darren said, yes, we can. Jia Chen said, can see. Okay, Pepe said, now can see. You always on and off earlier. Oh, was it? Oh, okay. Paul said, can see. Thank you. Anne said, can see. Eileen said, can see. Okay, can. That means can see. I'll take the majority votes. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let's take a look. Reports. Also, as early as February, Darren said, no off and on issue. Okay, thank you, Darren. I think this is definitive enough. No on and off issue. Thanks. Okay, so what did I say? Where was I? Wildfire, 雷火风 wildfire. So you can see as early as February and every other month, you can see reports like, for example, in Chile, raging wildfires kill more than 120, and then in Australia South, 1,000 ordered to flee while they can as bushfire burns. And then Texas also, largest wildfire. Also in May, Canada, and then in Brazil in June, record-breaking fires. As though not enough, there are some more. Second half of the year, California, Turkey, California again, Canada again, and then come to Greece, and then come to Turkey. As though not enough, some more, two more, Ecuador and Portugal. Okay, so after September, I stopped collecting because I think it is enough to show proof. Yeah, so this is the power of 雷火风. So in future, when a year comes with this ruling hexagram again, abundance, 雷火风, then I think from history, we can tell ourselves that we can expect wildfire to come on very strongly again. I mean, fire energies. There are also a lot of reports about building on fire, coffee shop on fire, HDB on fire. I don't know whether any one of you catch those news or not, but I didn't collate them because I think it is enough to show you wildfire to prove upon the point that 雷火风 actually basically means very strong fire energies. Okay. Next, about 雷火风, one more learning point about 雷火风 is this thing that I mentioned last year about the tug of war between two groups. One group's trying to 求风. 求风 basically means want to become better. And versus another group that's trying to 保风. That means those already there and still sitting there on top, and they're trying to maintain their power. So there is a tug of war. So we saw a tipping point, right? I mean, if you follow news, right, global news, I think we saw a tipping point in global hegemony, the rise and fall of great powers. Don't worry, I've collected some news articles and I can share with you later to talk about this point here. So the balance of the world influence actually can see slowly shifted with nations pushing boundaries, some on the verge of a new era of dominance, while others begin to see their control waver. Some already wave already, some already wasted already. Okay, exited the political arena. All right, the abundance of power brought about both opportunity and danger. And we watched this play out on the global stage this year because of 雷火风. So in both cases, we see that abundance is not always synonymous with harmony. Remember this. In I Ching, it always teaches us about yin and yang. When, whatever things happen is always neutral. That thing happen is always neutral. But because of yin and yang effect, there's always someone benefiting from that. And there's also another group suffering from that. So it's always two groups. Huh? Okay, so therefore, once we see that this year 2024 is the energy of Lei Huo Feng, that means if you're in power, you should know how to manage your power wisely and risk overwhelming consequences. Okay, so this teaches us to harness our energy with care, or as the forces we unleash can either create or destroy. Now, for the past 7 days, I think the energy that someone unleashed could potentially destroy the whole world. That is very risky, and very dangerous, and very thoughtless as well. All right. So that's my opinion. Yeah. Okay. So Darren say I agree about burning forest fire. Here the constantly issue of burning fire around me. Indirectly reflect in the reality world, the more burning and burning, we see very clearly who is on the way to Baofeng and Qiufeng. Good point. I'm sure, if you look around, you can sense all this energy playing full up. So you look at this, when you talk about the tug of war, that's why I talk about the tug of war between Baofeng, Qiufeng. Now you see, as early as May, U.S. grip in Niger diminished, and U.S. has to withdraw their military forces by September. I think it's already over. And then South Africa, the ruling party ANC loses 30-year parliamentary majority after election. So this one, Baofeng failed. India election, Modi's BJP wins historic term but loses decade-old parliamentary majority. So this one still maintained, luckily, but also degrading Baofeng, right? UK, classic UK, Rashid Sunak, defeated, totally defeated. This one failed, Baofeng failed, right? So in July, French, also no party secure a majority. That means the incumbent didn't secure a majority. So again, Baofeng failed. And then where this point here? Sheikh Hasina, a critical misstep and the end of 15 years of rules. So this another country. I can't remember this country. What country is this? Bangladesh. Bangladesh. Also, incumbent out. Failed. And then Japan, the ruling coalition loses majority in blow to new PM Ishiba. This is in October. Also, Baofeng failed. Then US, another classic example. Democratic, out, totally out. This is a very clean sweep by Donald Trump. Came in second term. Okay. Lin say hexagon 55 in numerology symbolize transformation and change to. Oh, really? 55. Okay. Thank you, Lin, for highlighting this and sharing this. So take note, everyone. In numerology, Western numerology, 55 symbolizes, according to Lin, transformation and change too. So everything syncs. Whether Western insights or Eastern insights, I think pretty sync. Okay, so I think this slide basically sum up everything about Baofeng and Qiufeng and the tug of war. Okay, it says Democrats join 2024 global graveyard of incumbents. I think this is a pretty strong statement. I repeat again. Democrat means the ruling party of USA right now. Democrats join 2024 global graveyard of incumbents. That's now we went through the list of all the incumbents ruling party finally being kicked out. And then there is another joke. I'm not sure whether anyone heard about this joke, that any world leader, the joke says any world leader who shake the hand of Ukraine Zelensky will be the next one to exit. You take a look. You take a look at those who shake hands with Zelensky. One by one, all got out. Okay, all got out. So it seems that the incumbent leaders have failed the lessons of Baofeng. If they have known this thing about Lei Huofeng, I think they should have done something differently to maintain their position. But unfortunately, they failed. See, don't talk about national level. Let's talk about, business. Who could imagine that BYD, China brand, could overtake Tesla in worldwide sales in 2024? So this is another example, but in business level, of a dominant party, Tesla, failed in Baofeng in maintaining its position as number one in electric vehicle. Okay, so much about Baofeng. Let's move on. Darren said, looking back our home, our PM make a better choice before the full kick in of Lei Huofeng. Exactly. Okay, exactly. I think so too, Darren. So okay, so in last year's seminar, I also brought in a bonus segment. Remember, talking about period 9, and in that slides, this is the exact slides I want to focus about. I say that in the upcoming period 9, that means starting in 2024, what we can see is that it is a Li Gua, or period 9 is a Li Gua. So basically, Li we can say is Li Zhong Xu. Okay, so Li Zhong Xu, in this slide, I say something soulless. Something soulless basically means, in my opinion, it could be an erosion of cultures and traditions and morals. This may become a profound issue. So this energy reflects the rapid changes in societal values where age-old customs, moral values, and cultural identities seem to be weakening in the face of modernity. So why does this matter? Because understanding and reconnecting with the foundational wisdom like the I Ching and Tao Te Ching is becoming even more critical than ever. That is why, okay, this is precisely why, in addition to teaching I Ching, I'm now also teaching Tao Te Ching, so that we can center ourselves in wisdom, in the meaning and the purpose as we navigate these turbulent times. Right, so this is Li Zhongxu, my understanding of Li Zhongxu. Next, I also mentioned that man and machine. Okay, so man and machine basically means you can see, the merging, the fusion of AI into humans. For example, implanting a chips into a human. Okay, and we're going to see this more and more. So this is something that we should look out for, because in the end, are we still human? We don't know. If this one become a trend. Last but not least, I also put there space supremacy and weaponization. Now, the competition for space supremacy is intensifying, if you have noticed that. Right? As nations race to secure their place beyond Earth, there's a rising concern over the weaponization of space. Now, what does this mean for global peace? You see, right now, US has given permission to Ukraine to use their long-range weapon to shoot deep into Russia. Now, this cannot happen without the use of satellite in the space. So that means space as a weapon now become pretty critical in terms of war. Going forward, so this might be a worrying trend. Right, so the quest for control in this new frontier is no longer just about exploration. Okay, it's about dominance and defense. Okay, Darren say one of strong moral values, losing values. Marriage is not so important. It's really part of your life, not your life. Okay, getting more and more obvious. My view, I agree, and also that that movement about LB. I can't remember. I can't remember the short name. But I think you all know what I mean. The same-sex marriages. All these things. Okay. Oops. Right. So you see here, what do you call that? Elon Musk is experimenting Neuralink. I mean, implanting brain chip, patient, into a patient, right? And then using that brain chip to play chess. Okay, so I think this is worrying. Man and machine, is blurring the line already. And then talking about space weaponization, can you see Russia launches space weapon? This is in May. Space weapon, bracket space weapon in the path of US satellite. And then this is in March earlier, Putin says setting up a nuclear power unit in space is a priority for Russia. It's happening. It's happening. This is no joke. It's happening because of period 9. Or that the urge to pursue this has become even stronger than before. Okay, then Elon Musk also SpaceX building spy satellite. What is this spy satellite for? Of course, in terms of war, it will be coming in, handy. Basically, this is happening. This is very worrying. So we have a nuclear weapon above our head. Next time. Okay. So all in all, I Ching has given the world insights into potential challenges and opportunities, but how we respond with that information is the key to transforming our future. So then again, knowing what might happen in the future, although it's insightful, it is not enough, right? But what really matters is what do you do with the information that you have, especially when you know something others, don't know or don't have. Okay, so on the global level, of course, we have to trust our leaders to act responsibly with the knowledge at their disposal, if they have, or protecting the future of nations and societies. But for us as a layman, as an individual, on a personal level, the responsibility will fall on each of us to act in alignment with the wisdom that we have gained. So in the annual eating seminar last year, I've shared essential steps that you can take to prepare for 2024 and beyond, ensuring that you don't just react to what's happening, but actively shape your future. And this is the slide that I showed last year, right? So what did I say that we can do to protect ourselves for 2024 is number one, feng shui protection for 2024. Also, feng shui isn't just about luck. It's about aligning your environment with the natural energies that can support your prosperity and well-being. We can create protection by enhancing our environment to minimize potential disruption. This at least we can do. And number two, we know that inflation, there's inflation, and then there is national security, harming the business environment and things like that. So therefore, we also need to do something to enhance the growth sector. So in eating, growth comes from knowing where to direct your energy. So by focusing on the right areas of your life and space means your environment, you can harness the abundance that 2024 offers. So despite all those things that happened in 2024 so far, I think my 2024 had been pretty good. Thank you. All right. So I hope it is the same for you too. Next, I also say that, I also shared what you can do to induce wealth for 2024. Each year offers unique opportunities for financial growth. So using ancient principles of wealth inducement, we can harness the energy that attract abundance. Okay, and then create financial stability. So next, inner cultivation. So arising from the Li Zhongxu that I talked about just now, inner cultivation is key. The challenges of Li Zhongxu is the erosion of culture and morality. Call for us to strengthen our personal virtues and stay grounded. So therefore, cultivating virtue, 德行, in Chinese called 德行, and keep your personal integrity intact is important as the world shifts around us. This is also why I put together the 道德经 workshop series. Next, the second last point, because of the Lei Huo Feng fire energy, strong fire energy, we can expect a lot of fires. Of course, in Singapore, we don't see forest fire, bush fire, things like that, because it's properly under control. But then we still got to prevent against property fire, right? So if you have seen news, there are coffee shop on fire, HDB on fire, BTO on fire, and things like that. So therefore, last year I put there property content insurance. Also, don't forget about this practical protection. I think I've said much. Let me move on. And then last but not least, explore opportunities. Basically, you have all the information you need to know about 2024. You should explore the opportunities. Like I say, everything is always in the yin-yang stage. Yin-yang stage basically means if there's challenges, there's always opportunities. So don't just hop on the challenges. Behind the scene, there are always opportunities. So look out for the opportunities. So remember, knowledge is power, but only when you act on it. By making proactive choices in those areas, you are not just reacting to what the world brings to you. You are also taking charge of your own life lah, and creating the life you want in 2024 and beyond. Okay, so all right. So now that we have reflected on the energies of 2024, I have to ask you this. Are you ready to learn more about 2025 and discover how you can ride the wave of its energetic forces to scale even greater heights? Okay, if you are excited about what's coming next and you want to know how to make the most of this opportunity, type yes in the chat box and let me know you are ready. Okay. Thank you. Lin say, I'm experiencing more chaos as we inch toward the end of the year. So the strength of Lei Huofeng giving its last burst of fiery power looks like, okay, Lin, you're right. But because later on, I'll talk about the transition from 2024 hexagram to 2025 hexagram, what that transition means to us. And because of that transition, it gives us that feeling of what you have mentioned just now, that you're experiencing more chaos. Why is it so? It's because of that transition. I'll talk about that transition in a while. So good point, Lin, but stay with me. Stay with me. Okay, thank you everyone for the yeses. Okay, Lin say it has been draining at least for me. Stay cool. Stay cool. Right?